So I decided to do a second cut of this. I usually feel like I feel like I usually do that. Do the hood, but I wouldn't say every time I go to the library and get the books and all that, and I'm showing them off the books like reading. I don't think I usually do a second cut, but it always seems to be when it's a nighttime video because I got the books last night, um, so it's day late technically, but uh, because I don't usually read them all in one sitting the first day, you know, it'll be fine. So this time is going to be a bit different. You're going to see a lot of books. Honestly, only a few more, actually two more than you usually get, which is really funny for me to think because actually it's three. It's really funny for me to think about because I was like, oh my god, this time I'm gonna have to finish these books, and when am I ever gonna get the books I want to get, and yada yada yada. Because you're only allowed so many books to check out from the local library. Obviously, it's a good amount. God, my God, it's a good amount. I would never intentionally have that many out for one time. It would just usually be like at this time at the worst, where I just was not able to finish every book I got last time. That's what happened. Last time I went to the library, that 2 weeks ago, I was not able to finish all those books. And yes, most of them, if you were observant enough, most of them, and you probably are thinking to yourself, "Was it these?" It was uh, the epic collections, and then the two complete collection books. And it's what I put on vacation. That's why I did that. So those ones I was not able to finish. Now, originally I was gonna say, okay, I'll give myself a week to finish those and go on Friday. And then I realized when I got home, I was talking to the library guy that I talked to about comics and shit, and he said they're closed next Friday for Veterans Day. And I didn't want to push that to go for Thursday, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go Monday, get the last of the books I want to get for like the actual time, and then the books I need to finish for next week. I don't know. I'll just give them to there's a grocery store right next to the library. And then give them to my mom when she goes grocery shopping or something like that. It's not a big deal. I did check the due dates, and most of them I can just say I just give to my local librarian and say, hey, can you renew these, please? Because something you can't do in your account. It's really weird. But without further ado, let's get into it. First four up are movies. First up, we have. Yeah, okay, we're actually going in like good order actually. The first one up, especially the first two, but first one up especially is when you're gonna be like, why did you get this movie? You haven't watched the original. I'll bet you any money, and you're right. I have not watched the original of Ghost in the Shell, and honestly, I don't know why I put this book in. I guess I thought that I don't know, but time will tell if I actually like this movie. But I don't think I will. It, I haven't heard the best about it. And sometimes, like, yeah, there'll be a movie everyone else doesn't like, and no one absolutely despises it. It wasn't like a 10% on Rotten Tomatoes and 2.5 on IMDb. It was like a 6.3 on IMDb and a 40 something on Rotten Tomatoes. Pretty low score for Rotten Tomatoes, but there's always that like, okay, you don't take their opinion, and there is that. But what, what, what what made me decide to finally get this book? It was that kind of when I was thinking of movies to get. This was the when it came to mind for whatever reason. I was like, you know what, let's get it. Why not? And then we have another one that you're gonna be like, why'd you get this movie? But there's kind of a reason for it. Now, back in May, I got in this comic series from Image Comics called Clone. And I knew there was a recent movie that had to deal with clones, one that I didn't never really watch in the theaters or never really cared about. Kind of thought was like, nope, skip that one. Did also not get the best reviews. But looking more into the reviews, they said the acting was good enough, and usually I can get behind that. I'm hoping that at the very least, Gemini Man is entertaining. Oh, that stupid poster. I gotta do that poster. It's a damn Wayward poster. It's the same one too. It always likes to fall. I don't know why. It's just like out of nowhere. All right. And it's the only one too. It's the same one that keeps falling. All the other two are just like fine. I have the same amount of tape for each one. It's really weird. Maybe because it fell on the ground. Because then it got on like the ground and it got all like dirty. But it folds itself, which is kind of funny. When it first fell, it was like a slow mo almost thing. But anyways, Gemini Man. I'm hoping it's at least entertaining, at the very least. Um, it's entertaining. What else? and I have the DVD copy that they don't give you. One did. I remember when I rented Escape Room, the Blu-ray. They gave the DVD too. It's kind of funny. I should put that. I should put that in. Damn it! I should have done like last time. I should put in Escape Room, the Blu-ray, and rewatch that, and then did the sequel because I haven't seen the sequel yet. And the sequel, the Blu-ray, I can finally get the Blu-ray, and it has the unrated cut. And my local library didn't even have the second one. But the DVD did not come with the extended cut. But anyways, I'm hoping at the very least Gemini Man's entertaining. It's not boring, you know. But yeah, I was gonna get this way back in May when I got the Clone book from Image Comics because that was the only Clone movie I could think about. And I've seen the trailers. It looks, you know, it's probably a stupid action movie. But at least I'll have fun with it, I hope. Then the last two movies are ones I have seen before. And then this one, you're gonna say, why are you rewatching The New Mutants? Out of all the movies you watch, why are you rewatching that? You know, you should watch this instead for the first time, and this for the first time. You should get in these movies. And yeah, I know, but you'll see, most of you may have gathered on to what the theme for these movies are. I mean, first of all, it's Blu-ray, all Blu-rays. But I'll tell you the second one once I go to the next movie. But this one I remember liking. You know, I was one of the very few people that actually liked that movie, so that's probably why I liked Gemini Man, because I like bad movies apparently. I like good movies too, but I'm very, like with comics, I'm very lenient when it comes to movies. If you entertain me, at the very least, I will give your movie a lot of slack. You know, I'll cut it a lot of slack. I've not read too many issues of the New Mutants. I just read their first appearance, and that's about it. I do want to get on the Demon Bear one. I want the comic this is based off of. And I think my local library had it, but it wasn't the Epic collection. It was just the regular, like, you know, the trade. Like they have a Dark Phoenix if you that one. And it's a classic one. And they just give you the story as, you know, nothing else. But the Epic collections always gave you what came before. It was kind of nice. But I'll just do what they have, if they even have that. Part of me wants to say they have it. Part of me wants to say they don't. But yeah, I remember liking this enough. And it's short too. Like, I'll always give a movie, I'll always cut it even more slack when it's shorter than it, when it's as short as it needs to be, not as short as it needs to be, when it's short, it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's like an hour and a half. And finally, we have The Intern. Now, this one is probably the only one out of all four of these, the only one that is considered to be a good movie. I watched it a long time ago. I liked it. Never really watched it again. Then a few months ago, my sister was talking about it, and I was like, oh, yeah, they have it at the local library. I'll get it. Now, the theme for all these movies is not only they're all Blu-rays, but they're all the same rating at PG-13. Now, next time I'm going to try and do a G, PG, PG-13, and R, because I get 4 movies from the local library each time. Now, that's going to be 3 weeks from now. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. I don't think I mentioned it along with what I was saying before, but because I'll be trying to finish the books for this week that I got from last week, 2 weeks ago, I'll be taking 3 weeks in general until the next time I go to the library, which kind of works out well because, does it? That's Thanksgiving, isn't it? I have to go on Wednesday then, so maybe I should put them in early. Because I checked this morning when Thanksgiving was. I always thought it was the last Thursday of the month. Apparently not. Or maybe what I'll do is I'll put them in. I gotta return those books though. I can't have them checked out forever. Yeah. All right, we'll figure that out when I get to it. But those are the 4 movies. Now on to the comics. Now I'm going to do. Now these first 4, I'll tell you when we get to the ones that are repeats. These first 4 are not repeats. Those are ones that you haven't seen yet. These first 2 are the same writer and same publisher, and I really hope these are at least interesting because I don't remember liking the first of these. This is the Black Panther Party. This one is just, from what I remember, it was a very show don't tell kind of comic. It was kind of like it was even the point of making the comic at this point? If you're just gonna tell the story, not show the story. And you know, if it was a history book, that would be fine. You know, I understand, but it's a comic. To get things like this, where it's just kind of telling you the story, not showing you the story. But it's David F. Walker. I want to give him a second chance. I've been putting this off for long enough, so hopefully it's at least interesting. And some of it, like, it's not all that. Like, you'll get over here, you get like an actual story, but you gotta see introduction maybe. Sunlight's blinding me. I have to put this here. Let's do it. Let's do this. Put that over there so I can get out of the sun's rays that are blinding me. Go. Oh my god, that damn poster. Come on. Hey, he's filming. Let's fall off the wall. I know I gotta get tape on this guy. I just gotta put every square inch I should put a piece of tape. Alright, anyways. So, and I got the next one, which was, where did I put the next one? It's not there. It's right here. I put it under there. Stupid. Then the next one, same publisher, same author, same kind of book, is The Life of Frederick Douglass. Yeah, the only reason why I got this book was because it was David F. Walker. And I didn't know this one was my local library. That's how much I didn't care about this book. I didn't even know they had it. I put it in thinking, because I saw other libraries had it. I thought it'd be an intro loan. Nope. My local library had it. I wake up next day on Tuesday when the G-Milk truck doesn't even come in. And I see, oh, the book. That's funny. Then we have... Why I just completely stop? I don't know why. But the other thing about Frederick Douglass is that but this one seems to be less so of they do have this though. They replace the whatever the hell. They have this, sure. It's kind of like show don't tell kind of thing, just telling about the story. But then they have this knowing shit that I'm definitely going to most likely skip, but it's just this. So. It doesn't seem to be a whole lot, but I'm like when I was reviewing Unwritten, volume 9, sorry, because it was the Fables crossover one. Like when I was reviewing that one, I had said that the one thing I don't like about Unwritten, and the one thing that probably keeps me from really enjoying it, is every so often they would have like articles, like basically like that, but worse. Like I studied for Frederick Douglass. It's like that, but worse. It would be articles, and it was really annoying. I still like being Unwritten, don't get me wrong, but I'm the kind of guy who doesn't like when comics do that. You know, most of the time comics will be like how you think of comics. They'll have, some will have more dialogue than the others, but Silver Age book is gonna have more dialogue than a modern comic. And I understand that. I can get behind that. That's fine. But this just feels like it was unnecessary, completely unnecessary for Unwritten. And Unwritten is a modern comic too. It's like 2000, like mid 2000s. So next one was one that I was waiting for forever. Since August, I've been waiting for this book. I put it in. It was active on my account, which means I have to wait for the library to have it, or it's not, or it's checked out from that library. It means you can't get it. You gotta wait. And I waited 3 months. So September, October, about 3 months. I waited for this book. Now, thankfully, this wasn't one that I was like super like, oh, I need to read this one right now. I need to get rid of that notification. Always when I do this, it goes away. I need to read this book right now. It wasn't any of that. It was kind of just one that I was like, let's check this out, see how it is. And that is RWBY Justice League. Now, this one is one of those ones that I count as an OGN, even though it's not technically an OGN, because of the fact that they have, it's 14 chapters they split into 7 regular chapters, like 7 issues, but it's still 14 digital chapters, which were 10 pages each, and even that they were cut in half because when they did the digital, it's different than when they did these kinds of books, or maybe it wasn't one. No, the ones that are 10 pages are just like a regular size. Like what they would do for some of them, they could cut in half, so they'd be like this. This would be 2 pages, not 1 page, but 2 pages. But Justice League RWBY, I have no attachment to the RWBY, but I just was like, let's see how this is. And yes, it's ironic that I got this right when the movie came out, which I might check out if I can get it for free. And then we have Wonder Woman Earth 1 Volume 1, one I've read before, and I'll be reading for the second time. Give me a second chance. I remember as it went along, I liked it a lot more. So let's see if I actually like Volume 1 as much as I liked Volumes 2 and 3. But this is an actual OGN. So yeah, the reason why I went over those comics with the OGNs, I like to pair those up with the Blu-rays, because I'll be reading those, I'll be watching a movie, reading OGN, that kind of thing. But now let's move on to the books that I was not able to finish. These many. Now, a lot of them are thick books. So it's good that that's the case. But Iron Fist I wasn't able to finish. This one's the most obvious. There's 25 issues packaged into this book. Now it's because there were 18 pages each, but still, 25 issues. Guardians of the Galaxy. This one, no, it's the next one that I have the least to read. But this one, I just so the reason for why I was not able to finish these because first of all they're thick books, like at least 18 issues each. Trade, paperback thing. Yeah, for at least 18 issues per book. And so yeah, last week I had there was Saturday we went to a Halloween party, a haunted house Halloween party kind of thing. Wednesday I had things to do, but it was only took an hour. But then I decided because I was doing Candy Poker on Thursday to do it to half and half. You know, I usually read half there, read half here, that kind of thing. It's kind of stupid I did that. I should have just gone on the Epic Collections, but that's where the Cookie Crumbles. And then Halloween night we went around the neighborhood just to see what was going on. Not to trick or treat, but just kind of see what's going on. So that took a little while, but. And at that point, I decided to hell with it. And it was nice that I was at least able to get the books that I wanted that were in for me for this week. And yeah, I probably should not put them in. And if anything, I should just gone next week, you know. But whatever. Well, no, because either way, I'd still be in the same. I'd still be in the same predicament kind of thing. But anyways, Guardians of the Galaxy was not able to finish. Captain America, Fantastic Four, all those epic collections. Then the two complete collections. We got Superman, Emperor Joker. Superman for Tomorrow and Futures End Book 3. And then the one I just didn't read at all, and that's Vader Down. It's a thin book, 5 issues. But I just decided to hell with it. There's no way in hell I was gonna fit that in with all the other books I had to read. And then Walking Dead. Which this one I was thinking of just reading it all yesterday, and then getting book 3, but it wasn't the other Star Wars book. So what the hell was the point? What would have been the point? Now onto the books. Now for these next books I will reiterate in the course of the movies and actually not the movies. So that's another thing. The OGNs and the movies I'll be returning on Monday if I go on Monday or Tuesday whenever I go, but early next week. So technically, you won't see those. So it's a good thing I did that. And that's why I always go through the movies and the OGNs first. That was the reason for why. I was like, why did I do that? That's why. But anyways, now let's get on to the tour. I will reiterate these books. You'll be seeing these again when I go over the 3 that I'll be showing off on Monday. So you'll be getting a lot of videos. But I still want to do this video because you never know. I might finish some books for Monday. Actually, I'm going to try my best to finish Vader Down. Probably. Maybe. And Walking Dead. So, anyways, Wicked and the Divine, Volume 8 of 9. Sorry, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 are all rereads. The Jim Zub, yet again reading the Jim Zub Dungeons and Dragons book. He has a new one coming out, which is nice. I hope my local library has it. Or not, whatever library had this book, I hope they have the next volume pretty soon here. It hasn't released yet, I don't think. Or maybe just released. Yeah, it was October 24th, so yeah, just released. So I wouldn't expect them to have it or be able to get it because you can't get new books from other libraries for a little while. But by next time I'm interested in it, yeah. And I probably will be trying to watch the Dungeons and Dragons movie because I have it on Prime Video to watch for free, and we have a Prime account, so you know. Wonder Woman Volume 2, the Brian Azzarello run. Spider-Man Deadpool Volume 3, getting back in Joe Kelly. So hopefully this is at least has better pace than Volume 1 did. Like something like Volume 2 is perfect. Volume 1, I felt like I was reading not Silver Age, like a Bronze Age, where it wasn't as wordy as a Silver Age book, but still it took a lot longer to read than it should have. Then we got Magneto Volume 3. The American Way Volume 2. Transmetropolitan Volume 10. Dark Knight's Metal. So the only reason why I decided to reread this was because they have for Prime Reading, so Prime account. Ironically enough, I was just talking about that for Prime Video, but for Prime Reading they had Batman Who Laughs, which I've been waiting to read for a long time. My local library, when I put it in for intro loans, they didn't have it. I think it was only because it was a school. The only library that had it was a school library, and that's a huge ass. That's the definition of a 50-50 chance. So I want to read this again. I remember not liking it that much, but I just wonder if it's the same copy I got. Let's see. So I always do the thing where I put the or do like that thing. I don't know if you can see that. I do this. I bend in that way so I know where I am in the book. Yeah, I'm the kind of guy that does that. So let's see. Yep. So I had checked this out before. So yeah, Trans Metropolitan. think I'll do every 6 months along with Wicked and Divine, but probably not Wicked and Divine because Wicked and Divine I'm trying to get for Christmas. American Way. I just kind of the 2 volumes. Whoa. The 2 volume thingy. The 2 volume rule. I get no matter how much I feel about volume 1, I wish I get volume 2 just to finish it off once and for all kind of thing. And now I said just Spider-Man Deadpool hopefully have better pacing than volume 1 did. I don't remember if it did when I read it for the first time. But I know I kind of went through them really quickly, but I didn't think I had a lot to say. I really don't for some of them. God's Not Dead, Volume 5. I believe there's 8 volumes in the series as a whole. But it's just getting really good. I'm finally understanding what's going on, which is nice. Nubia and the Queen of the Amazons. Now I forget what the Volume 1 was called. They didn't call it Volume 2 Queen of the Amazons. It was just like here's 2 Nubia books, same writers, same everything, same year I think too. There was no way of me knowing which one's which. And luckily, I got the right one. So this is actually Volume 2, and when I got Volume 1, it was actually Volume 1. I had to go by the release date. It was the only way I could tell. Like, say what you want about, well, comics are bad because of this, bad because of that. I think one of the reasons, like, if we put a list of 10 reasons why comics are failing these days, I think the alienation of outside readers would be one. Like, I'm really into comics, as you can tell. And even I couldn't tell which was Volume 1, which was Volume 2 of Nubia. How is someone who's getting a book for their grandson or granddaughter gonna know? That's so stupid in my opinion. Like, not even in my opinion, just in general. Like, why would you do that? Like, you're trying to make your book fail? And yeah, there's other reasons. That would be, like, if I had to rank them, that would be pretty low in the ranking. There's a bunch of better reasons for why. It's not a big deal. It's just, I like filming when nobody is home. But anyways, Unwritten Volume 10. One more of this and we're done. And I will not be rereading this. If I reread it, it will be a long time from now. It's homework almost. It walks that fine line between being enjoyable, which it is. It's enjoyable. Do not get me wrong. I still feel this is an insanely underrated comic. But it walks that fine line between being enjoyable and feeling like homework. Honestly, when I put these in a stack, and I always I always put them in a different order. When this one comes up, I'm like, ugh. I always put it at one of the last books I read. But I flipped through it, and so far it looks like there's no little articles. But even Unwritten Fables is kind of like a bit. It was kind of one of the weaker volumes of the series. Ronin Island, Volume 2. Ironic enough, I put that right next to Unwritten because Ronin Island, they said Volume 1 was a huge ass palate cleanser, and Volume 2 will continue that. Greg Pak seems to have the pacing of the comic like pat down. Wait, how to say that? But he seems to really understand what pacing is. What good pacing is. Because I don't think I've ever found any of his books to be slow. They're always fast paced, they're always enjoyable, always keep your interest throughout. Then we have Figment. So Jim Sub did the Dungeons and Dragons book I showed off. I don't know if I mentioned that. Whenever I get into a Jim Zub kick, I always have to check out Dungeons and Dragons. This one I put off for the longest time. It's because it's a kiddie book. I'm hoping it's at least enjoyable for someone that's not obviously a kid, obviously far out of the uh, demographic, but I liked like these types of books. They usually relegate. They usually do like the teen for teen books, and the ones that are like this one does say teen, but not the kiddie books. Sometimes they will, but like this is like a digest size. They did it for Ironheart. If you saw that when I was reviewing that, and they did it for that Spider-Man freshman year book. So it's kind of like they're for kids, like the PG kind of movies. They have a little bit more, but I'm hoping it's not too pandering to the demographic. And so I usually, it's kind of funny. It's kind of weird how we mention this, but for these types of books, I seem to have a good track record with it. Ironheart, yeah, it was kind of boring, but at least it wasn't like I didn't feel like it was being talked down to too much. Then we have another Magdalene Visaggio book, and that's Morning in America. Um, I seem to be very hit. I think I should read at least 4 Magdalene Visaggio books. That way I can have like an actual middle ground Magdalene Visaggio book. But let's hope this one's just as good, if not better than Bakery Queen. Not expecting to be better than Uja Uja, which is my all-time favorite Magdalene Visaggio book by a landslide. But I'm hoping it's not as terrible as her Kim and Kim. That was the definition of homework, honestly. Then we have the other Dungeons and Dragons book, one I put out for a long time. And ironically enough, I'm looking at the library here that had it, and I've never, I don't even recognize the library that had this book. It's one of those like I've gotten any books from this library, and that'll happen every now and then. When I got History of Violence, I couldn't tell the library. Like it was like, what's this library? And it was kind of funny because obviously it was Interloan, it's not Gmokes. Interloan is like a bunch of libraries. Gmokes is limited. But this one, like, it was just like it's kind of funny, and that is Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms. What's that called? That's a Dungeons and Dragons Forgotten Realms Legend of Drizzt Book 1 Homeland. This is the Andrew Dabb series. It's actually based off the books. Hopefully this will, because the Jim Zub one was really silly. Hopefully this one takes itself a little bit more seriously. That was the one thing I did not like about Jim Zub's. It wasn't that big a deal. It was the one thing I didn't like about Jim Zub's Dungeons and Dragons book. I wanted it to be a little bit more serious, and I still liked it. Like the second time, I liked it a lot more than the first time, and then the third time, I read that book a lot of times. Is my point. Now, the next one I put in because I wanted a Klaus Janson book, and I put in Klaus Janson into Gmokes, and I got this book, Mighty Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy. What it's called, Gladiators and Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, those of you who just saw my Guardians of the Galaxy Epic Collection might be wondering, hey, is there any double dipping? One issue. There's a Thor annual that's in here. There's also in the Dungeon. There's also two dragons. There's also in the Guardians of the Galaxy Epic Collection. So, and this is a older book. And I've read a whole lot of older Thor stories. I've read some miscellaneous Stan Lee issues. I read one issue of Jerry Conway run, which was absolutely amazing. I loved that. And isn't this Roger Stern? Yes, Steve Englehart, Stern, and Len Wein. Nice. But he probably writes that Thor annual. Because I also saw Roger Stern in the Guardians of the Galaxy Epic Collection. And I was always wondering, always curious, when we get to Roger Stern. Roger Stern seems to write the best of the era he's writing for. Like, for Bronze Age? Modern Age? Whatever the 80s age was. Like, Bronze Age, yeah. Like, that, he was, like, knocked out of the park. Much like how people feel about Chris Claremont, I feel about Roger Stern. I've not read anything by Roger Stern I haven't liked. Like, that Doctor Strange book I checked out twice, the Dracula crossover, the best issues were the Roger Stern. Both times I felt the best issues were the Roger Stern issues. We got the first volume of the Charles Soule She-Hulk run. Now, I'm hoping they have volume 2. I mean, hell, I might have been like this volume, but I want to check out Charles Soule book. The second one I'll be checking out will be a Star Wars book. So if I decide at the end of the day not to do a revamp of showing off the books again, which I probably won't. Maybe I'll just show off the books I got, and I don't know. But anyways, the ones I'll be getting is the 3 Star Wars books I get: the Charles Soule, Poe Dameron 1, the Kieran Gillen Darth Vader, and the Jason Aaron Star Wars book, and then Walking Dead Volume 3. All Volume 3s, by the way. It's ironic. The last volume, the Captain America Mighty Avengers. Thank God. The next one, I didn't hate Volume 1. Volume 1 was kind of boring. I'm kind of like eager to finish it for once and for all and then drop like a sack of potatoes. Much like Unwritten, but less so than Unwritten, because at least Unwritten was interesting. Now, this next one, but Young Captain America Avengers was less issues, less volumes, much less. Now, this next one is another one that I took a while for me to get. No, I didn't put it in. They just took forever for me to get it. No, I knew it was too new. I knew I had to wait. And I'm glad I finally decided to put it in because I did the math. I should have gotten it. I did, and we're all good. And this is Christopher Sabala's newest book, Blink. And I really, really hope this is a diamond in the rough because I want something good from Christopher Sabala. I liked his Welcome Back. Second time I read it, I liked it a lot more than the first time. But everything else about him I haven't liked. That was that Ghost Hunters book that was instantly dumb. It was also the Oni Press book. It was instantly dumb and annoying. And then his Dirtbag Rapture was an absolute chore to get through the second time I read it. And kind of proved that not every book that I read for the second time I like as much as I did the first time. But yeah, Holy Blink is good. Now, I seem to be, I do not seem to be an odd man out for Christopher Sabala's books. But I always am interested in what he's written. There are books that were advertised on the back of, I believe, Dirtbag Rapture. It was actually both Dirtbag Rapture and Welcome Back. It looks very interesting. But my local library doesn't have them, or Interloans or anything like that. So when I say local library, I usually mean Interloans. When I say local library, that means actual local library. I know it's a little confusing, but I always forget to say Interloans. And this next one, DC Comics had a sale Halloween, so basically the entire month of October. And even though this really isn't it's gothic, this is a gothic character, so I guess you could say it's Halloween. And I remember they played the original movies, the Michael Keaton movies, so it's Batman. The original Batman, 1989, I remember they played that one Halloween. But this one, I decided not to get, and I decided to say, let's see if they have it. They did, and that is Batman Long Shadows by a very underrated writer, Joe Winnick. Now, okay, not underrated for comic book fans, but underrated in, even not nobody really talks about him, honestly. Everything I've read by him I really liked. He's kind of that writer he's that kind of writer that, I wouldn't necessarily pick up something if I saw that he wrote something and I'd get something else. Like, let's say I was going for Wayward. Let's say I was going to my local comic shop to get Wayward, the hardcovers, and I saw this. Would I get this and Wayward? Probably not. But if I was just browsing, yeah, I'd pick it up. And this is the Batman Reborn, so more Nightwing as Batman, right? I believe so. Yes. Yeah, as post Batman R.I.P. Yes, spoilers for something you should already know about, honestly. By now. It's not really a spoiler. He's back now. It was a long time ago, so it's kind of like it's one of those things where, yeah, it could be a spoiler. It still, was a surprise, I guess you could say. But it's also, the actual book was called Batman R.I.P. You can't get over that, So, but you're reading it issue by issue. Even then, it's a Batman R.I.P. Part 1. But anyways, moving on. This next one I put in, I was just browsing. I was like, oh, I'll look at this one, and that is Fallen Sun Captain America by Jeff Loeb. So when I hadn't heard about it, I was like, oh, okay, check that one out, see what it is. So that, as I say, is that almost 40 books, 33 minutes, not bad. So a lot of books. You'll probably will see the ones I'm gonna be reading for the next few weeks. Again, probably just do that, but yeah. So I'm gonna try and read that today. Yeah, I gotta split these up. Do I have to read the Epic Collections? Oh, I shouldn't I? At least do Iron Fist. So I'll do 4 books today. I usually do. So when I'm reading, I know I gotta read an Epic Collection. I know I gotta read an OGN along with the movies and everything. At the most, I read 2 books that aren't 2 regular issues. That's usually just in case I take literally all day to read the books, OGNs. I like to at least read one to 2 books before sundown. I can manage that either way, unless I have something to go on. Unless I really have something going on. That's that. As I say, is that. And it does work out too because I'm gonna get on Iron Fist. I have like 20 issues left. It's a lot. I want to kind of be. I want to try and be on the same page. No, because Walking Dead I read too. Read 5. So maybe I don't read Star Wars. I don't know. All right, but that says that. See you guys in the next one. We are 35 minutes in. Not bad. I like for these videos to be a bit longer. And actually, I think at 37. I think at 37 minutes. So this will be uploaded on tomorrow, Saturday. And Sunday's video will be maybe if I can get them ready and watched in time. So what we'll do is I'll wake up early on Sunday and get the movie in, and then read the last OGN, which is probably one of the Frederick Douglass ones. That's another thing. I'm gonna give Black Panther Party and Frederick Douglass 2 chapters each, and if they end up sucking hard, I'm gonna say screw it, and I'm going into the books I need to actually read. Because I'm not sitting through that. You know, if it's really, really boring, no. I'll give it 2 chapters because sometimes the first chapters are really short. I think the first chapter for each is just a show don't tell kind of thing. But I don't think it's interesting. They both got really good reviews. It's Goodreads. Goodreads they give a really high review to these kinds of books. It's usually because they, for that reason. But it's David F. Walker. You know, hopefully it's not as boring as this. Nighthawk wasn't boring. It was just kind of like mediocre. But let's hope this is actually good. Let's hope it's as good as let's hope it's almost as good as his Bitterroot. Not expecting to be as good as his Bitterroot, but let's hope it's at least close to that. Actually, deals the same subject, racism. David F. Walker seems to be really on racism. That's his kink. Honestly, it's not wrong thing to say. Not actual kink, obviously, but that's his thing to write about. That's his like how Mark Millar does a lot of superhero comics. That's David F. Walker's thing. But I get to reading. So that's the end of this video. Tomorrow's video, you already got Omnibus Fridays. That was today's video for Friday. So I'm uploading this on Friday. And Saturday you'll get your this video. Sunday I'll be getting their comic reviews if I can manage that. I'm going to try my best to get to those. And then Monday you will have the revamps. If I go Monday, I'll try my best to go Monday. And then that'll be it. So 5 straight days. So that Wednesday was a complete December haul. What was Thursday's video? What was Thursday's video? Joy! Thursday's video was the comic reviews. Duh. I went yesterday. My brain doesn't work sometimes. So sorry. Let's go with that again. Wednesdays was the complete October 2023 haul. Thursdays was comic reviews. Friday was Omnibus Fridays. Saturday was actually six straight days of videos. Saturday will be this video. Sunday will be the comic reviews of the OGNs, the movies, that kind of thing. I'm returning for Monday if I can manage that. On Monday you'll get the revamp. And what I'll do for Monday's video is I'll probably do this but more organized. You know, kind of be like instead of being like, oh here's book, because I feel like I kind of went too fast with some of them. I'll try to make it a little bit longer. You know, actually like tell you guys about the books and not tell what they're about because sometimes I go in blind, but get more into it. You know, because I went backwards for American Way. But what's nice about this is that for the first 8 or so that you'll see me doing reviews of, that you won't see in the revamps, that I feel like did justice. So it's like, yep, this is the book, this is the movie I got because yada 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 and yada yada yada. I do that really good, and those events will be returning anyways. So there you go. And I will be revamping the Epic collections too, even though you already saw what I was talking about them. Those ones I'm going to do quickly. I already talked about them, so that'll be that. But that, as I say, is that I gotta go get day started and actually read and all that junk. Now we are at 39 minutes. Sorry, let's make it 40 minutes actual. What's it though? I mentioned everything I need to mention. You have 6 days of videos. I don't think I've done that in a long time. I think the most I've done is 7 days. I feel like I did 8 days back in December. I was like really on that. I wanted to do like a bunch of videos to hold you guys over because I wasn't sure when I get to the library next. And that was before I did my weekly series. Obviously, I'm in the best Fridays, so I get at least 1 video per week. Because I want to get that that consistency of uploading. And I really hope YouTube isn't like, yeah, it matters how many videos you do per week. Not if you do 1 per week, No, you have to do 5 per week. You do 5 per week last week, and do 5 per week this week. Same day, same everything. 'Cause I don't want to do 5 videos a day. I'm never gonna be the YouTuber. 2 videos a day I hate doing. Like even that I hate doing. I used to do 5 videos per day, but then I decided not to. And I like doing this where it's 1 video per day. So you get your fix. And usually every week I usually will succeed in getting at least 2 videos out, especially on Comic Call days. And if I did my math correctly, if I did everything correctly, I'm able to get the books. You will be getting that for I don't know though. It's Thanksgiving. I'm planning to close early on Wednesday. It's that week. So maybe I'll do like one more week if I can manage it. For that last week. I don't know. But that, as I say, is that. The end. So definitely 40 minutes in.